Yes, what's going on, people? Welcome back. I feel like it's been a long time, man, since we've done another show. But Eze's back again with me. Obviously, we're going to be talking, looking at the week in review. There's been a dramatic week, man. The Champions League, obviously the weekend as well in the Premier League. Going to be touching on those points. Eze, how you doing today, man?
I'm good. I'm good, man. It feels good to be back. Good to be
Yeah.
talking with you, man. A lot to go over, so I'm excited.
Yeah, I know the last time I spoke with you, I think that was beginning of the season. I think it
Yeah,
was.
it was.
Yeah,
Yeah. Lots
because I
changed.
don't think we really talked much. Obviously, I think it was before, after the Champions League finals, we hadn't really spoken, and then we had spoken beginning of the season. But yeah, I know everyone's been busy, man. Like work's been busy. I know you moved to the city, so you've been busy on that new job.
I'm a city guy now. City guy now.
Yeah, you left us
But
behind, eh?
I feel like I should start my own thing now. I should be have my own show. I can bring you on as a guest. All that's possible.
Oh, for sure, man.
Now that I'm a city guy.
Yo, we should definitely do it, man. I'm gonna have to I was gonna switch to with the way my club is moving, I was gonna switch allegiances to the blue side, but I gotta do it outside the country. I can't do it. I can't go to London. That would be bad.
Don't worry.
That would be bad. You know what's actually jokes? I think it was the last 2 weekends, watching the United games. It was like because the Chelsea games have been right after the United games.
Yeah.
I literally would stay back at the pub just to watch the Chelsea game because I just felt like Ole had rubbed me off my football for that weekend. But not saying like I know the Chelsea result. I mean, performances have not been that great, but obviously it's still better than what we get at United. That's for sure.
Yeah, I've checked in and out of a few of the Man United games. I know there was a big controversy about him omitting Ronaldo from the 11 a couple weeks back.
Yeah.
Ronaldo was a starter, but then you guys lost to Leicester. Was it Leicester 4-2?
Yeah, we lost it. That was last weekend. Yeah. So,
And
yeah.
then the Champions League. Yeah, I don't know what about it. It's something this isn't gelling properly because the players you have are as good as any other team's players, but for some reason it's not executing on the field. So I can only imagine that the manager is to blame. At that point.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, that's the thing, man. Like, it's up to you, man. It depends on what you want to start with. But the whole Ronaldo thing, I think that was against who did we play before the international break? Crap. Let's see. That's we just kind of take the game as it goes, man. I think it was it Aston Villa?
Atalanta, Everton 1-1.
Oh yeah, it was Everton. Yeah, and they could have beat us in the last minute too. Remember when what's his name passed the ball to instead of taking the shot, the winger, the left back, sorry, the right back. Remember the last minute of the game, they had scored the second goal, and what's his name was doing the Sue. No, not the Sue. Was dancing. What's his name again? Who was is it Richarlison?
Was it Richarlison?
No, it wasn't Richarlison.
I'm not too sure. But go on.
Who was it? Everton. Oh man, I gotta find. No, what's the guy from not Colombia? The South American guy. What's his name? Mina. Was it Mina? Let me see here. Oh, come on. Lineups. Let's see here. Was it Rondon? Oh, I didn't know it was Rondon. I didn't know that he played that game. Yeah, it was Yerry Mina.
The center back.
Was it? Yeah, I think he scored because the right back, I think Bowen.
It shows Andres
could have been on goal. Sorry? No, you know what? I'm looking at what am I looking at here? Anyways.
Mm-hmm.
It was really bad, man. We could have lost that game like pretty much every game in the season. You know what I mean? When you track back from the opener against Leeds, we do what we do with Leeds, right? Like they're very open as a team. They like to attack. They like to press. but they give you enough space that you can hurt them. And then from there, it's just our season just went downhill. Obviously, we struggled against Southampton. We tied that game. Wolves, we should have lost that game as well. Um, then you had the Newcastle was the return of CR7. That game too was kind of, it wasn't until like the last 10 minutes that we scored the 3 goals to win the game. You know what I mean? And then, yeah, ever since then, man, it's just been, we lost to Aston Villa as well. Then Everton was when Ole rested Pogba and Ronaldo, which, like you said, a lot of the pundits were kind of upset
Yeah,
that he did. Which for me, for me, I think that to me is just another what's it called? Is it pavement over cracks? To me, the whole Ronaldo thing, I didn't really get why people were so upset about that. Like, oh, Ronaldo, oh, you bench Ronaldo before the international break, your best player. I'm like, okay, Ronaldo, when was the last time Ronaldo scored 2 goals in a game for us, right? Apart from the Newcastle game. Yes, he's prolific, don't get me wrong. But the person who came in for him in Martial scored a goal. What more do you want? You know what I mean? Like, what more do you want? It's one thing if Martial came in and didn't score, then you can have the argument. The person who came and replaced him, like who came in for him, scored a nice goal. You know what I mean? So it's like it's just the same distractions. We're always looking for things to blame rather than just the football isn't good enough. But last night too was another dramatic night. I knew it was crazy, man. It was crazy. But did you watch the game at all?
no, I was watching the
The
yeah, I was
Chelsea,
watching the Chelsea,
yeah, yeah,
the Chelsea game. It was 4-0 versus that Swedish team, I believe. Yeah, I think
yeah. Malmo.
I was watching it on the zones. I was getting the notifications every time a goal was scored. There was 5 goals in that game, and a late winner by Ronaldo. So it was
Yeah,
fun to watch, but I don't think it should be that close against teams like that. But
yeah. What I mean? But that's the thing. I think, like we said, right? Ole is getting found out. I've been calling that for 2 years. You've known me. I've
yeah,
been saying it. Everyone was calling me negative just because, it was like, oh, what do you mean? Like he's built something great. He's built something great. And I think like for your point where you said, why is it that um why is it that you've gotten better players? Why is it that you've gotten better players? Shout out to Flawless in the building here. I really appreciate the support, man. Those of you watching, definitely check out Sarcasm City as well. Always live every day. Fire channel as always, and you can always catch me on there as well too. So really appreciate the love, Flawless. But yeah, back to my point
yeah,
about the Ole thing, right? Is we're now noticing the deficiencies of Ole just because now we have better players, right?
Mhm.
Now we have players who like to be on the ball, like to play possession football. So when you have players like that of that quality, you can't just be relying on counter attack. It's just not going to work, right? You can't be playing, you can't be playing relegation football with top elites. It just doesn't make sense. So that's kind of my view on it.
Yeah, no, I know. I completely agree. I completely agree. I feel as though any like quality manager would have gotten United to the position that they're in right now. Right. I don't think what Ole did so far has been so exceptional that would warrant him staying within a job if they underperformed this year. Right. Like top 4 is minimum. If you have Ronaldo on your team, top 4 is minimum. This has to happen. Right? I think chasing a Premier League, it's not over yet. It's still not even December yet. But the way things are trending for United, they're not looking so good. I don't see them making a managerial change though. I think after the Leicester game, I was on Twitter. I think Fabrizio and some other commentators were talking about how United's board has no interest in sacking Solskjaer at this moment, right? So
Yeah.
I don't see it coming down the line anytime soon. And it's good news for me because I like the way Solskjaer plays for United. It's easier, very predictable. And I want to keep United exactly where they are because similar to Newcastle, they're a sleeping giant, right? Like if you get a good manager into this team, so that's one of the largest football clubs in the entire world. they can
Yeah.
really run again. All of a sudden, another 20 years of United dominance. So I really don't want that to happen. Keep Ole in his job. I love him.
Oh man. Do you feel like if we got a new coach, we can kind of do what Chelsea did with Tuchel? Because I remember last season when because you were not really liking Frank Lampard at the time, right? You
No,
were,
no.
yeah, I was trying to back him. I was trying to say, you know what?
You were doing what I'm
I was
doing.
trying to keep him on the job. I was trying to keep him on the job as well,
Oh,
but
yeah. I think a similar thing could happen. I see a similar thing could happen. But I think like our team is really, really solidly built. But I think Tuchel's like brilliance is like still even now so underestimated. Like what he did with that team is exceptional. That Premier League, that Champions League win, I feel as though was even more difficult, as crazy as it sounds, than our first Champions League win. You know, even though
yeah.
our team was better and younger, the position that we're in before he came in till after, it's like the difference is exponential.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. And you know what? And that's a testament to the quality of a manager. Obviously, like Manchester United, we could be in the same position whereby we get a new coach. It might not work out, and that's fine. And I've said that with my chest out that, you know what, I'm not going to be that person that thinks that a new manager is going to come in and change our football overnight. We're going to start winning trophies. At the end of the season, we win the league and the League Cup or whatever. I'm not saying that, but I feel like a new coach will be able to create more of a discipline, because that's what we lack on our team is discipline, right? Because like you said, there's no style of play, there's no system, there's nothing to fall back on when things are not going our way. Like we know with Ole, it's a plan A, and that's it. If plan A doesn't work, he looks clueless, the players look clueless, and it's like, okay, what next? But bringing in a decent manager, we can begin to we can start building something on the pitch. You know what I mean? In terms of, okay, what style are we trying to get at? What is our goal? Because right now I feel like we don't really have a goal as a club. It's just like everyone keeps saying top four, right? But is top four really a goal? I know the Premier League is very competitive, but top four is not a goal. You know what I mean? Like,
keep in mind that before all of you United fans were saying Premier League, as soon as you signed Ronaldo, you were all saying Premier League was the goal.
we got gassed, man. We got gassed.
You guys were so gassed.
I got it. I just got a little bit of the bug, but you know what? But I always said that. I always knew that. Remember last year, I did say that. I said you could bring Messi to this team, you could bring Ronaldo, you can bring Neymar, and they will struggle on this team. I remember saying that last season, and everyone was like, "No, what do you mean? What do you mean? No, it's not that bad." I remember we were live with my brother Jeff, and they were like, "No, it's not that bad. My brother kept saying, you just need a clinical number 9. You just need a clinical number 9." And I said, no, no, no. It's bigger than a clinical number 9. First of all, we don't get service. So where is the person going to be clinical from? Where's the ball to be clinical?
Speaking of service, Sancho, the 80 million pound man, what's going on with your boy? Talk to me, Josh. What's going on with your boy?
Yo, he'll come good, man. Like he's just waiting for Ole to leave. That's what it is at this point.
So too. I think it's even when I watch him play, sometimes he seems a little bit like, hey, like where am I? Like, where do you want me to go? I think you have to kind of get a system that works for him, because there's no way that same player that was doing what he was doing at Dortmund can't do it now, because he was performing in the Champions League and at the end of the league. So he's definitely good enough, but the system just for some reason doesn't work with him.
But think about it, right? Like think about this. It's like every player that left under Ole has won a trophy, except for Fellaini. I don't know where he went to, somewhere in China. But you know what I mean? Think about Alex Sanchez.
Yeah.
Went to Inter, won a trophy. Actually young, won a trophy. What's his name? Herrera, PSG, Champions League finals. They've pretty much won every French cup. You know what I mean? Like the list goes on. Yeah. Every player that has left under Ole has won a trophy. Lukaku won a trophy, Serie A, won with Inter. Like, you know what I mean? And then even Jesse Lingard, he didn't win a trophy, but he was EPL's best player from the time he left United to the end of the season. He was the most informed player. Mm-hmm. But every player that has come to United under Ole looks a shadow of themselves. So it kind of like you start thinking to yourself, like, what in the world is going on? Fans might say, oh, the pressure of the club, the pressure of the club. The players are not good enough for Manchester United. Oh, Fred is not a Manchester United, standards. First of all, what is our standards? We haven't won the league in 12 years. The last time we won a trophy was what? How many years ago? 5 years ago under Mourinho.
Europa, right? Europa League?
So what is our standards? What is our standards, first of all, for people to say that, oh, that player is not a Manchester United player? Like, are we thinking about Manchester United during the days of Ferguson? Are we thinking about Manchester United as of now? Because if it's as of now, these players are good enough to play for Manchester United. You know what I mean? And don't cut me the bull of, oh, the pressure of playing at Old Trafford. Like, come on, man. Like, come on. Those are easy excuses. Those are really easy excuses. But like you said, I think Sancho is someone who likes, he likes the given goals. You kind of look at the goal that we scored, the Newcastle, I think it was the fourth goal against Newcastle, where we had Donny van de Beek, Pogba, Martial, and Jesse Lingard. Jesse Lingard finished. Like that intricate play, that's what those players can do. But when you have a game plan of, pick the ball from deep and lob the ball forward to hopefully Rashford can run on that, you know what I mean, and score a goal. It's like that's not a game plan. The ball just goes from defense to offense, defense to offense. It bypasses the midfield every time, right?
Yeah,
and it's wild.
Yeah, no, for sure. I think we've discussed this issue with Ole for a while, for a good amount of time now. Dating back to other discussions we've had, it doesn't seem to be going away anytime soon. It's the same system or lack thereof that he's been doing for quite some time, and I think the players are good enough, and he as a manager is just good enough to keep getting pretty good results to keep you relatively within the range that the United board wants you in. I think it's like, I would compare it to, this could sound really, really crazy, but just level with me on this, okay? Remember the Ebola virus?
Yeah.
Right? It sounds crazy. But
that sounds like a long time ago now, man.
I'm gonna bring it back around. With the Ebola virus, part of the reason why it didn't kind of spread the same way COVID has, or reach the kind of level of impact that it has, was because when people would contract the disease, they would just pass away so quickly, right?
Yeah.
With COVID, people have the disease and they live they can carry on so long, live so long, they're able to pass that virus around.
Pass it on, yeah.
Exactly.
That's why it spread like wildfire, right?
Exactly. With Ole, you'd be much more happier if he got a bunch of terrible results quickly, killed your team, and got fired, rather than living long enough and getting okay results for so long that they just don't need to fire him and don't need to kill him. You see what I mean?
And no, like that's definitely true, man. Like we said, we have, and a lot of the United fan base, not a lot of them, but the majority of the fan base, they do believe that we need better players. You know what I mean? Like last season, it was, we need a CDM, we need a center back, because we thought, okay, getting a center back would stop the McFred pivot. And then it became, oh, we need a right winger, to help Wan-Bissaka down the flank. Okay. We got the right winger in Sancho. We got the center back in Varane. Yes, we didn't get the McFred pivot, but that's also, sorry, we didn't get the CDM, but that's also because Ole said in the summer that he was happy with his midfield.
Yeah.
So I don't know what else. And then we also got the prolific number 9, Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, everyone that was hating on Martial, what is Ronaldo doing for us? Yes, he's scoring late winners, but last season, guess who was scoring the late winners for us? Bruno Fernandes.
Yep.
The season before that, who was scoring for us? Martial. The season before Martial, who was scoring for us? Pogba. It's always going to go to another player just because we have that quality. So the goals will be spread out. So if Ronaldo left tomorrow, somebody else would take it on. Maybe Rashford would take it on. Greenwood would take it on. But, False, man, I really appreciate it. I'll definitely catch you later, okay? Thanks, man. But yeah, So that's the whole thing, right? It's like I think we're at that point as a fan base where we just gotta wait and see how it goes for the season, right? Like
Yeah, that's all you
I'm
do.
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying that's all you really can do at this point, right?
Yeah. I just don't want us to get to the point whereby we're back to the Mourinho stage, whereby we've got a lot of dead wood and we have to rebuild, right? Because I think we have a very fantastic team at Manchester United. We have a fantastic team now. I don't think it might be unbalanced. I do get that, but the quality is there. Like the quality is next to none. Like I can't think of too many teams in Europe apart from City. Who else apart from City? I can't really think of another team that has the depth that we
PSG,
have. Sorry,
PSG.
PSG.
Yeah,
What does
PSG.
PSG have though? Like apart from the starting 11, who was on their bench?
Oh, they got didn't they? They got well. I don't know if Sergio hasn't played the game yet, but they got Sergio Ramos, Kimpembe. They signed.
Well, Mbappe has started
Ballon.
now.. Actually, no, because Marquinhos is
Yeah, Marquinhos is still there. They have Wijnaldum. They still have Verratti. That's probably the starting lineup.
Well, you
Yeah,
know what?
also.
They do have some, but Verratti is a starter though.
Yeah, he's starting now. I think they're gonna run. Even
Okay,
that,
I'll say you're right. You're right. PSG is
that's
comparable. I'll say PSG is comparable.
Rabiot. Is Rabiot still there? I don't know.
No,
They have,
Rabiot's is in Juve, I believe.
yeah.
Yeah, Rabiot's in Juve. Yeah, but okay, let's say City, PSG. But look at the teams we're talking about: City, PSG, um, maybe Munich. I can't really think of another. Sorry,
Are you saying like depth in general or like
yeah, yeah. I'm not just talking about starting 11. I'm talking about like
depth,
you
like,
could put their bench, and the bench would beat a lot of teams.
oh, okay. I see.
Yeah, because I don't know if I'm sure you didn't watch the game against the League Cup game that we lost to West Ham.
Well, no,
That
yeah.
was our bench. My brother messages me and he's like, "Whoa, I did not realize that that was your bench." And Rashford was still injured, and who else was still? And Cavani was still injured, and that was our bench starting, all 11 players. And my brother's like, all those players was starting on a lot of teams. Like
Oh,
that's wild. Like you had Martial up front, you had Donny van de Beek, you had Juan Mata, which I didn't think he should have played anyways. You had Matic, Lingard was there.
what's
You
that?
know,
What's that back? Tellez was Tellez in there?
yeah, Telles was in there too.
Yeah, Tellez. He's a good fullback. Yeah, a lot of guys.
Yeah, like you know what I mean? I'm not saying that. Am I back?
Yes, you're back now.
Oh geez, man, the internet is acting up again. But yeah, man. So for me, just to wrap up on the United part, obviously, actually, before we wrap up on that, I wanted to say one thing, and then I wanted to get your take for the Liverpool game, and then we'll move on to Chelsea. Um, just my worry for United is we're gonna get to a point. I feel like we're gonna look back on this time and gonna look at the players that we had and say, what if we had just changed our coach? What could we have done? You know what I mean? Because people always say hindsight. You know what I mean? Hindsight is always hindsight. No, it's not hindsight because I can already see it. I can already see the future, so it's not hindsight. I can already see it. Is we're gonna keep having the same narrative, the same narrative, the same narrative. We have 8 players that could be leaving in the summer. 8 players that could leave this summer. Donny's not happy. We've got Martial, who is barely getting game time, that should be playing first team for a lot of clubs. We've got Pogba hasn't renewed his contract yet. Who else do we have? Who else is there on there that yeah, we do have quite a few players that are actually Lingard, Jesse Lingard as well. He's on the fence of if to stay or if to go play his football somewhere else. So these already 5 players I've already mentioned that could be walking out that door. You also got Cavani, you've got Ronaldo that are already on a 1-year contract.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Cavani wants to go back to Europe. Yeah.
Yeah, he wanted to, but now they're saying Barcelona wants him or something like that. So or Real Madrid. I don't know.
Okay.
But Yeah, so you know what I'm saying? Like those are like almost 8 players that could be gone. So we had this amazing team in one season,
Mhm.
could be all gone. You know what I mean? Just because this man management of Ole that people seem to praise, but he brings back a half fit Maguire over a Bailly that was fully fit, played in internationals, and he's a decent defender. You know what I mean? Yeah, he makes mistakes here and there, but doesn't Harry make mistakes? You know what I mean? Like Harry cost us that game on the weekend, three
Yeah,
goals
yeah,
on the weekend, but he still started though. You know what I mean? Like, so for me, Donny can't get a game. Donny can't get a game. McTominay is half fit, starts the game. Rashford half fit, starts the game. You know what I mean? These are players that are starting week in, week out, injury or no injury. You know what I mean? But people are trying to talk about man management is next to none. That's not man management. When you don't rotate, maybe it's man management to starting 11. That's cool.
mhm.
But I don't think it's man management to the squad.
Yeah.
Tell us what a wonder goal last in the last Champions League game. Where is he? You know what I mean? He can't get it. He can't get a run of games. Luke Shaw hasn't looked the same since the Euros. Still
Yeah,
starting.
yeah. I think yeah, they're giving they giving us a lot of games. I think that's a big thing. Big. I know even for Chelsea's last game that we
Yeah.
struggled. We won 1-0, but we struggled against was it Brentford?
Oh, Brentford. Yeah, you guys struggled on that, but you guys were missing like 3 of your defenders.
Yeah, just because of rest, because it was the international. If you look at all the top teams, whatever team they play after an international break, they always have the craziest results. It's always
Yeah,
because they have these other smaller teams who have no players going away. All they do is train and focus for the next game coming up, right? While our players are bigger players, they play for the national teams, and they'll go off, get injured, pick up knocks, play 90 minutes somewhere else, and having to come back on the plane and play 90 minutes again. So it's always really, really difficult with that. So to relate it back to what you were saying, I can imagine that Luke Shaw probably doesn't look the same since the Euros because he's been playing game after game after game after game all summer.
yeah,
And especially as a fullback, his game is predicated on getting up and down.
down the field. Yeah,
Yeah, so it does make sense. You would think he would rotate more, but I think he just has so much trust in certain guys, and especially given the magnitude of the job that he's taking on working for United, I think in his mind he's gonna go for the best, most trusted guys every single time because that's probably the way he feels the most comfortable and most secure because it's his job on the line if he has to change anything else. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
And like you said, right? Like then that's why we go back to that coaching, right? Like you look at, like you said,
Oh, you cut out again.
you guys change your 3-4. I mean, your defenders. Like you guys can change it, and you still
No,
play.
I'll say
Sorry,
okay.
go
You're
ahead.
back now. You cut off for a little bit.
Okay, I'm
Yeah,
back
you're
now.
back.
Yeah.
Go.
So I was saying, like, so you can look at City, you can look at Chelsea,
Yeah.
you can look at Liverpool. Pretty much a lot of teams, man, across the league. I know we keep using City, Chelsea, and Liverpool as the example, just because that's who we should be competing with. That's who we should be comparing ourselves to. But I'm going to take it a notch down over Leicester City, West Ham, Everton's.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they have injured players, they still play a similar style of football. People interchange, come in, and still look the same or similar.
Mm-hmm.
With
Yeah.
United, the moment we make a sub or we change a team, it's literally just up. Like it just feels like it was a totally different coach. Like it was just just pulled up to a soccer field somewhere and just said, "Hey guys, you guys want to play? Hop on." Just hop on the bus. You know what I mean? Let's go. And that's the problem. And Ole's rotation too is, he'll rotate the entire squad. The entire squad. And it's like, okay, like these players have not played well together. So you need to put a few experienced players in there that are used to game time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like you said, it's like how I talked about, it's the whole just lobbing the ball from the back to the front, lobbing the ball so that's why he picks certain players. You know what I mean? Like you look at Bruno, he's not a possession-based guy. He just gets the ball, lobs the ball to, doesn't matter if it gets to the player or not, he just lobs the ball forward. Lobs it forward. At some point, Rashford is going to run behind. That's all great and dandy. But the thing is, people slate Martial. Martial is a different kind of striker.
Mm-hmm.
It's like how Rashford doesn't have the link up play. Rashford puts his head down. He doesn't look up. He just wants to run through 5 guys all the time, gets the ball, tries to run, dribble 5 people, and take a shot. Same with Mason Greenwood. Every time he gets the ball, doesn't even look up, wants to take a shot. You have very similar kind of players. There's different kinds of strikers. There is Cavani. Cavani is lethal in the box. His movement, his heading. He's different from Martial. He's different from Rashford. Rashford is more of, Martial is more of ball to feet. Get me the ball. I'm going to hold it up, invite my players up front, lay it up, and then go in the box to receive it. You know what I mean? There's different ways. And that's why I say, same with Bruno. There is games to play Bruno. Let's say, for example, you're playing a game whereby we're going to have a lot of possession, like a Leeds. That's a fantastic game for Bruno and Rashford. Just, you know what I mean? Just run. You know what I mean? Run and lob balls here and there and score a hat trick every game. But when you have games whereby we're not going to have as much possession, we need to retain possession, hold the ball, move the ball, work the ball. That's where you bring in a Donny. That's where you bring in a Matic. You know what I mean? That's why you play Pogba in the middle. But Ole just doesn't have that IQ. It's just all about every game is the same starting lineup, is the same formation, is the same system. Every game. And it's just like, I don't know, man. It's just dire to watch. But it is what it is. But let's just move on from United, man. I think I've heard enough of United this week. But yeah, man. So Chelsea, how you guys are looking good. Obviously, not as, I won't say, like, to be honest, I think you guys are kind of, I don't know. I may be wrong in this. I've watched a few of Chelsea's games. I feel like you guys are not as dangerous looking as you were last season, if that makes sense. But you still have a very good foundation. Obviously, you've got great players, and you have a really good coach as well. I may be wrong on that. But how are you feeling about Chelsea so far? Obviously, now Lukaku injured. How do you think that's going to impact your season?
I'm not sure. I haven't got any updates on the Lukaku injury. I have the Chelsea app on my phone.
Yeah.
I saw so a player came on top of him, like landed on top of him, on top of his ankle. He rolled it. He's not a player that gets injured very often, so I imagine it won't be something too devastating. Do you have any news on that at all? Or
so let me see here. Bounce back quicker. So it said quicker than expected. So maybe it might just been Sky Sports. He's playing a good game, 100%. An ankle injury.
Yeah, the ankle. Yeah, I know he rolled it. It came on top of him.
Yeah, it's probably just a sore ankle is what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Our next game, I think, is against the team that's at the bottom of the league, I believe. Is that Norwich? Or?
No, you guys are playing Norwich. Yeah. That should be an easy game, man. Like, yeah.
Well, it's 7:30 on Saturday. He probably wouldn't even played that game in all likelihood, so it's not a big miss. What I've been noticing from watching 90 minutes of Chelsea twice a week now with the Champions League games, it feels like it's like a match as a fire, but it's not just it hasn't really exploded yet, right? There's times I see Lukaku making a run and he expects the ball to come and it doesn't come, or Mount picking his head up, or Havertz gets the ball dispossessed, or it isn't like they need time to really gel. It hasn't worked that out yet because Lukaku is, in my opinion, watching him play, he's one of the best strikers I've seen. Especially at his prime when he first came to Chelsea, it was like something else. The way he holds people off, it's has a force field around him. You can't move him, you can't touch him, and the ball was sticking to his foot like a magnet when he first came, first couple of games. It was incredible, and he keep trying to play people in, and they just, I don't think they knew the extent of how capable Lukaku was because they weren't finding him in positions that were optimal for him to score. Where he with him. And who was that guy who was playing with in Inter, the other striker? Lautaro Martinez.
Yeah, Martinez, yeah.
A great chemistry, right? Because Lautaro scored, I think, over 14 goals. Lukaku was in the 20s. They had a great chemistry going on. Lukaku also had like 10 assists that year as well, too.
Yeah.
Previous year. It was
he was a beast last. He was probably like the best striker in Europe.
Yeah, he won Serie A Player of the Year last year too, and he won the Serie A as well too. So like
Yeah.
he's looking for that same kind of chemistry. And at the moment, we don't know exactly who's the best person to pair next to him, right?
Mm.
So recently, we were trying Werner next to him. Before that, we did Havertz and Mount playing alongside him. We don't know what the best option is yet, but as soon as we figure that out, I think it's really going to start to pick up because I think
Yeah,
we're still creating some chances, but we haven't just found that spark yet. I think that's what it is.
that's true. That kind of makes. I feel like you guys are still. It's like that. But you know what it is? I think also there's the expectation, right? Because you guys won Europe,
Mm-hmm.
so there's that huge expectation of, oh wow, now Chelsea, we're gonna see this
Right.
phenomenal football. You know
Right.
what I mean? And then it's kind of no one like that. Your expectation is so high, and
Yeah.
then it's
Nothing.
the
Nothing.
new season
Nothing
shows
to reach.
up, and it's just
Yeah.
like you're still playing well,
Yeah.
but it's not to the level that people were, expecting you guys to play.
I
But
agree.
what do you? I know Mount was probably one of your best players last season.
Yeah.
How you feeling? Like I feel like his form has really dipped like this season. I don't think he's the same player.
Those those
Like
English, those English players, yeah. After coming back from the Euros, he looks different. He still has that energy. He's still, Mason Mount. He closes down the ball every single time. He has a lot of energy moving all around the pitch. That's kind of what he's really, really known for. What he's really good at, and he's still doing that. But a lot of his passes in the final third, they're not really coming off. His shots outside the box, it looks like he's just a half step or a step behind. That's what it seems like. I think right now, our best player probably has been like Edward Mendy or Antonio Rudiger has had some incredible games. Our our attacking positions at the moment aren't where the majority of our how it is like a majority of our development has come from. It's more so been from the back, our goalkeeper and our center backs. I'm not sure we caught that. Just Josh, I think you're. If you can hear me, I think you're frozen here on my side.
All right, I think we're back. Sorry, guys. We had some technical difficulties there. Yeah, geez, that was like 2 minutes.
Yeah, that was a long one. We'll fix it in post.
Yeah,
Fix it in post, and we'll fix that.
yeah, we'll definitely fix that up. Sorry about that, guys. Um, so I think you left off when we were talking about Mason Mount and just like you were saying that he still has the energy.
Yeah, no, I can. Yeah, he definitely still has the energy, especially when you're watching him play. He's still really like closing down, especially like if we're playing a three at the back formation. So those three strikers or three attacking players up at the front, they have to do a lot of the pressing. That's where we press from the front all the way to the back. So you can really notice him pressing on the ball, running hard, and everything else. But in the final third, he's been like a bit of like like a half step off. Like the shots from outside the box really aren't working the same way. His interplay isn't the same. The final pass, it's not coming off the same way it was coming off last season. And it's, yeah, you don't really know. I don't really know like to put my finger on it per se, But I imagine with a lot of players, it kind of like with peaks and valleys, their form goes. So this player's hitting their
Yeah,
peak, and he might be due for another uptick. Maybe in the coming weeks. That's what I imagine.
yeah. That's true though. But sometimes too, it could be a lot of these players are being overrated, right? Even for the England team, as like they're playing like Mason Mount's on the team sheet all the time now, like for both games. So it could be just that, right? Like, do you guys feel like you guys are missing a personnel on your team, or do you just feel like your team just needs to gel a bit more with
I,
Chelsea?
I know a lot of Chelsea fans really wanted Declan. Well, not a lot. It's we're kind of split down the middle, right?
Yeah,
Either our fans think Declan Rice is the next Frank Lampard, or Declan Rice doesn't deserve to be in the Premier League. It's one or the other. I don't know why it is that way, but a lot of them think that we need another CDM to play next to Kante, right? At the moment, during the last transfer window, I thought maybe that was something we can be interested in doing. We ended up bringing in
yeah,
Saul. He hasn't looked. He doesn't look up to speed. I think it's a difference between the Spanish league and the Premier League. I think the Premier League's a lot faster. So
yeah,
for that position, it hasn't really caught up to the speed of it yet. But hopefully sometime soon. But with that being said, I
yeah.
don't think we need any personnel. I think our team is perfect the way it is. I just think it just needs a little bit of time. But I could be wrong.
Okay, you guys are not missing Tommy Abraham yet?
Tammy.
Oh my
I know.
goodness.
You
Yo, I
know.
actually heard that AC Milan got a spanking, man, today. I mean, AS Roma, they
Oh,
got a
did they?
spanking today. Yeah,
Okay.
6-1, I believe it was. Whew.
Well, let's see.
That's like
Let's see.
Mourinho's like biggest defeat, probably. That is wild, man. That
Yeah,
is wild.
normally it
Sorry?
doesn't lose like that. You know it doesn't lose like that, right?
Yeah, I know. It's usually like very tight games, right? You might lose like 1-0, 2-1, but
Nothing crazy.
never that kind of score line, man. That's crazy.
That was big. That was definitely big. Yeah, I imagined that was gonna happen. It's happened with so many of our players. Like, imagine we had just think about this. We had Lukaku, Kevin De Bruyne, and Mo Salah and Eden Hazard all on the same team at the same
Team,
time.
yeah. That's
All
wild. When you think about that, that's
came,
actually like crazy that they all came from Chelsea.
all came from us, man. Like, we didn't develop them, but we signed them before they went to bigger clubs.
Yeah.
And every time we saw one of these players on the cusp of making our starting 11, I have a sneaky suspicion they're going to play well. Same thing with Tomori last year. In the end of the season last year, he had a really good season with
Yeah.
and I knew he would. And now with Tammy, he's playing well as well too. I think his first game he scored like 2 goals, had a goal and assist in Serie A.
Yeah. He
Yeah,
was like spinning people, man. He was putting them on the ass.
I
Like he
know.
was. I was like, what?
I'm not crazy, right? You were watching Tammy when he was playing the Premier League. He was Bambi on ice. He kept falling down, falling over himself. Remember in the Premier League?
Yeah.
What was happening? I don't get it. And they go elsewhere, they turn into world beaters. It's the weirdest thing.
But you know what though? It's the pressures, right? Because sometimes when you play at home, as much as people say, "Oh, you're comfortable playing at home," but there is more pressure in England because Tammy is
Yeah.
supposed to be that young British player, so there's so much eyes on him, right? Oh, is he Chelsea? Because especially when you're playing for Chelsea, you're being compared to the likes of your Didier Drogba's. You know what I mean?
That's
Lukaku's
true.
the best strikers in the world that had played for Chelsea. So everyone's already thinking, oh, is he going to be the next Didier Drogba? Is he going to be the next? You know what I mean? So I think because of that, that puts added stress. And then you go to AS Roma, whereby there is an expectation. Don't get me wrong. AS Roma used to be a European giant, but
Mhm.
there isn't as much of an expectation from him, right?
For sure.
As there
Yeah.
was at Chelsea. So that plays a huge takes a huge toll on players
That's an interesting
mentally.
way to look at it, man. It's an interesting way to look at it. I think previously I would probably see it the same way you do with the added pressure and
Yeah.
everything else. But I remember, I think my brother was showing me this. There was talking about how like being like clutch, you know what clutch is, right? Quote unquote like
Yeah.
clutch in like
Yeah.
basketball.
Clutch.
Like in the last 30 seconds of a game, this guy is more likely to make the shot than this guy because he's more clutch. No matter
Yeah.
what, no matter if it's like, let's say it's Steph Curry or Michael Jordan taking a three.
I was
Since
gonna
Michael
say
Jordan,
Steph Curry, man. Yeah, Steph Curry is
yeah,
he's
but
clutch, man.
but you know, yeah, like Michael Jordan would be like the most clutch guy in the entire whatever. That's what people think, right? So
Yeah,
some people, because it's Michael Jordan taking the last second shot, they would much rather have him shoot it than Steph shoot it, even though Steph's a better shooter, right?
yeah,
So you see this study that he did on players playing away from home versus at home, right? So when you're away from home, the crowd's against you, it's
mm,
more intense, it's more pressure, like you were saying, right?
yeah,
And they look at their free throw percentages, like how well they shot from the free throw line, and home and away, like when you look at players player by player, it's
yeah,
almost identical, right? So like you would think like, yo, it's much more pressure away from home. You think they miss more free throws, but they really didn't,
yeah,
right? And for some, I can never shake that out of my mind now to this day because when I'm thinking about like Tammy Abraham, you've been playing this game for Chelsea since you were 8 years old. Now you're playing
yeah,
for now. I can't imagine the pressure was so much to change his outcome by this drastically because he looked like a bench player for Chelsea and now looks like a world beater for Roma. I don't think pressure alone would cause that much of a variance. That's what I think.
No, maybe no. I
I'm
don't
gonna
mean
see.
like pressure, but first of all, the home pressure I'm talking about is different from like your home fan pressure, right? Like, it's one thing whereby like, yeah, obviously, like if you go to an opposing team's home ground, yeah, it's gonna be different. Yeah, everyone is booing you and whatever. But what I mean that pressure is at Chelsea, even though he was at home, there was a lot of pressure from his internal circle, like Chelsea's faithfuls, the fans, everybody just saying, okay, is Tammy the new guy? Can he live up to the people who have come before him? So that adds pressure, right? It's like we always say, the pressure of Old Trafford, right? Like the moment you put on that United shirt, the whole world is watching you. Are you going to be the next Van Nistelrooy, the next Rooney? You know what I mean? People are already comparing you to the greats that have played for that team
Yeah,
versus him going to Roma. He's going away, but he's in Rome. That's now his new home per se. But the fans of Roma, like Roma fans, they don't really have much of an expectation of Tammy Abraham because let's face it, I
no, for
don't
sure.
really think an AS Roma fan was really watching Chelsea religiously to be like,
Yeah,
yo,
yeah,
Tammy's the guy, man. Tammy's this. So for them, they're kind of like, oh yeah, we have a new exciting talent from Chelsea. Let's see what he can do. Versus with Chelsea, it's like, oh yeah, okay. So we have this guy from the academy. He's supposed to be. We heard he's the next, Didier Drogba. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. So it's two different. Obviously, there's still the pressure of being in a new country and stuff like that that could impact his game. But I think he kind of saw it. But I'm kind of happy the way he's taken it from a mature level because
yeah.
this is his sign. Like he's probably looking at the Bellinghams and Sanchos of this world that left the country. Because Tammy Abraham is still what, like 21, 22?
I think it's like 23, maybe.
He's 23 now? Okay. But still young, though. That's still young.
Yeah,
Like,
something like that. For
he's probably
strikers,
thinking the same. Like, you know what? I need to take this opportunity to show, to show the world what I can do. I might not necessarily be good enough to ever play for Chelsea. We don't know that. But he's probably thinking to himself, I need to go there and show it.
he's 24.
Yeah, 24.
What,
Age
24,
is
right?
creeping up.
97. Actually,
Age is creeping up there.
yeah. He just turned 24. Okay, 97. Yeah,
So this is the perfect time for him to have left Chelsea then.
yeah. I
Perfect
think so.
time. Because I think if he stayed at Chelsea any longer, he would
Yeah.
have ended up in Newcastle before they got taken over. You know, right? You know how like a lot of those like English players just end up in some
freaking
lower, mid-table team. I'm just like, I'd rather go overseas. I'm not overseas, like I'd rather go to like another European. Yeah, I'd rather go abroad. Right? I'd rather go abroad and play some Champions League football, European football, than be playing league games week in, week out. You know what
Yeah, that's right.
I mean?
No,
So someone's actually good enough to do that. They just don't want to do it.
I know because you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Because you're going to go to a new city, language barrier, your friends aren't there. Yeah, it's a big decision to make. Yeah, but I think oftentimes, not for everybody, it's the better decision, really.
Yeah. And I think it's also that culture too. I think it's the culture as well, like the This is like the Anglo-Saxon, like the Saxon like culture, because Germans are like that too. How often do you see German players outside of the German league?
I
I
don't
think
know.
like Cruz and what's his name were probably
Cruz,
like
Gundogan, and
the
Sane.
few. And what's his name? Özil.
Oh yeah, Ozil. Yeah, Ozil, Gundogan,
Yeah,
Sane.
Özil. Like yeah,
Yeah,
but
those.
that's recent though. That's in recent times. Like that's
Yeah,
even like recent, and those were like the really top tier players that you know what I mean? Like there was something else that dragged like Cruz, Özil, obviously Real Madrid, you can't say no to that. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Especially Real Madrid of that time, you couldn't say no. Like, and
Mhm.
then Gundogan was probably like he wasn't. I don't think Gundogan was even as good. Was he as good in Germany
Oh, he
as
was.
he is now at
Remember,
City?
he was on that Dortmund team that went to the Champions League final. Yeah,
Oh, true. Right, you're right. Okay, so exactly, so that makes sense now. So he was in that Dortmund team. So
yeah,
it was either Munich would have taken him, but what ends up happening with those German players, especially when you're that level, you're that good, is they most likely will go to Munich. And
yep,
if Munich doesn't take you, then that's when they start looking. And obviously,
yeah.
Man City comes calling. You're gonna take it, like you know what I mean. So I think that's all. But you don't really see German players and just leave Germany. They always flirt with Munich first, and if Munich doesn't take them, then they step
And,
out of
and
Germany. You know what
when
I
I
mean? Same
when I
when
oh sorry, go ahead, go ahead. Let me just cut you off.
no, go ahead. I was done. I was done.
Oh, he's not Lewandowski. He's not German. He's Polish, but similar
Yeah.
effect. When I saw Lewandowski went on a free to Bayern Munich, I was like, this that whole German league is something fishy going on. I didn't look into it, but I was watching a
Yo,
documentary and I saw that actually Bayern Munich.
what was that defender's
Oh,
name? That was supposed to
Hummels.
Upper Munachano?
Oh, Pummel.
Same thing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
I think it's only for less than 40 mil. I'm like, what?
It's
But
it's collusion.
what's his name? Leipzig was asking for I think it was 100 million pounds for United. Like when United was like flirting with him.
I believe
Apparently
it.
everyone was calling out 100 million pounds, but he goes next door to your rivals
Before it.
for like
Oh,
it's ridiculous, man. I don't know what Munich is doing in Germany, right? I don't know
and
what they're doing.
and they took their coach too from
Oh
Leipzig.
yeah, they took like 3 of their best players in one
Yeah,
season.
as the coach. What the hell?
Oh my goodness! But everybody else is, and to me, like some of these players, like, don't you even want competition, man? Like the German league it's a good league. Don't get me wrong. Like I think the quality of the German league is good, but from a competition standpoint, Munich is going to win that. Like sometimes I've seen Munich being like 20 points behind, they
And
clawed their way back and still
yeah,
won it. So I'm like, but
it's
when
so
the French league now has more competition, man, then
yeah. I know
like,
Lil won last year. That's what's
but
crazy.
when the French league has better. Yeah, it was crazy, like to be honest. But speaking of since we're still on the Chelsea thing, I think it's good to slide this in. The Ballon d'Or.
Right.
Because it seems like a lot of Chelsea players are on there. What the hell happened with Mendy? Why is Mendy not on that list?
I I,
Like, what the
I
hell is going on with this, man?
I don't know, man. I don't
Mr.
know.
Paul Pogba is not on that list. The moment I saw that the 2 names were not on that list, I was like,
Yeah, you gotta
just
put
I was
Mendy.
like, I didn't really honestly, I didn't really take the Ballon d'Or ever since it became the whole Ronaldo Messi
Mhm.
thing. You know what I mean? And then for them to, I mean, and then now you look at it and it's like, okay, Mendy's not on there, the best goalie. He won goalie of the year,
Yeah, Golden Glove. Yeah,
goalkeeper of the year for UEFA,
yeah.
but for FIFA he's not even on the list. How does that even make sense? But I guess maybe because FIFA is thinking, who does he even play for internationally? I don't even know.
He plays
Where is he from?
for crap. Man, there's so many Mendy's now, eh? Edward.
Sorry,
Um,
Winnie Mendes. Yeah,
let me see.
man. If he was, Senegal.
Senegal. Yeah, I saw that too. I said French. That was stupid. Yeah, Senegal. That's what it is.
So he's French. What the hell? How is he French? Oh, because I guess he started playing. I guess his career really started late, eh? Like he really came on the big stage.
Yeah.
Because I would take him over Hugo Lloris, man, for France.
Oh hell yeah, hell yeah.
But I think obviously it's too late now for that. Oh man, he would have been nice for France.
No, he's really good.
Like he would have been nice for France too.
He's like 6'6". He's huge in there. It's crazy.
Yeah, and it's nice though because we haven't really seen too many black goalies as of late since like David James.
David James. Remember Dida on the.
We haven't really saw what's his name. Yeah, Dida was boss. You know what's so funny? Back in the day, I didn't rate Dida as much. I didn't rate him as much.
Yeah,
And then now that I kind of look back, I'm like, yo, he was actually a sick goalie, man.
He was a G, man. He was a G. He wanted to be an outfielder.
But he was one of those goal like. Yeah. Oh, I remember he used to do those stupid like. Yeah, he was actually pretty good with the ball, man. He was actually pretty good with the ball.
Yeah,
like that was jokes. Dida was there. There was what's the guy's name from ESPN as well? He was there back in the day too.
It's on ESPN now.
Yeah, is it Hislop? No, Shaka.
Oh, that guy. I never watched him play. Actually.
Yeah, you never watched him. I guess you're much younger though. Yeah, I never watched him. Not like I watched him play religiously, but I do remember like him being in that. But I can't like really remember his performances, if that makes sense. Like I used to remember when like United was playing West Ham or something, he would be in there. So
not a lot of black goalkeepers, not a lot of black.
Actually, Tim Howard is also there too. Tim Howard did his thing for United. Like at some point, he was United's number one.
Oh, really?
Like he wasn't bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tim Howard was like our number one for like 2 seasons. Yeah, I think actually he was our number one when we won the Champions League. I believe. Was he? Or was that Van der Sar?
No, I was Van der Sar against Chelsea. Yeah, Van der Sar was in net.
I think it was Van der Sar. Yeah, the one against Chelsea. Yeah.
Yeah, it was in net. Wait, Josh. I think I'm a little bit delayed.
One against. Oh, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. It's taking about like 2 or 3 seconds after I speak for you to.
Oh, true. Okay. No worries, man. Yeah. But yeah, what's your take on the Ballon d'Or list, man? Let me bring this out because there is like what 30. I don't know why they're making that list of 30 people.
Yeah, 30-man list. I think 5 or 4 Chelsea players were on there. N'Golo Kante, Jorginho. What's they put on there? Oh, Lukaku was on there too. And
that's fair, yeah.
I think.
Let me look here. Oh, geez. Can this list be a lot easier? Okay, so we have Cristiano Ronaldo, Gerard Moreno from Villarreal.
Yeah,
I guess Villarreal won the Europa League, right? Yeah, I think Moreno also did well for Spain. Didn't he play for Spain?
Euros?
I think he played in the Euros. Yeah, Moreno.
He might have.
I think he did. Yeah, Phil Foden. I don't know really why. Like Phil Foden is nice, but I don't think he's at that level to be Ballon d'Or list. Like this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. This is why this list is so like it's just popularity contest here because Phil Foden, don't get me wrong, Phil Foden has levels to go. I think it's gonna be an amazing player, but I think it's still too early for him to be talking about for him to be on that list with likes of Lewandowski and Mo Salah. Come on, man.
Yeah, I think it's
a joke.
It's 30-man list, and I think because City won the Premier League and went to the finals of the Champions League, that they're just gonna put a bunch of City players in there just because, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Why is it even 30? Like, why is there so many? If you want to pick one, there's going to be a list of final 3. How does it go from 30 to the final 3?
Yeah, I don't know.
That kind of makes no sense. Yeah, you might as well just say the top 5 and then make the final 3
Oh,
and then just what I mean, get the job done. It's like you're just trying
yeah,
to make people happy. That's all you're trying to do.
yeah. But
Jorginho, I don't know, man.
if you're asking
Jorginho
me
could do
right
it
now,
though. Yeah, who do you think? Could you? Yeah,
I think it I would prefer for it to be N'Golo Kante, to be honest. I think those knockout stages of the Champions League, which is the biggest club competition in the world, he was by far the best player of any team, like period. If you look at any of our goals that we scored, like the crucial ones,
yeah,
it was because Kante got an interception or tackled somebody in the opposition's half that it happened. I think he's the best player at his position in the world. So if I had to really choose the best player last year, I'd pick N'Golo Kante personally. But based on what Jorginho has done, right, winning the Euros, winning the Champions League, FA Cup final, top 4 in his league, I think they have to give it to him, right?
yeah,
What do you say?
yeah. I don't know. I think definitely he's definitely a solid candidate for that. I'm not buying the Conte one though. Like Conte was
Whoa.
only good for like what 2 months. He was only good for 2 months, bro. We're talking about the FIFA best player of the year for the whole year, man. Why you didn't shout out Benzema, bro? Like look what Benzema did for Real Madrid last season. Look at what he did
What
for
did he
France in
win?
the Euros.
What did he win though? He didn't win
Okay,
any.
what
He
did
can't
he
get
win?
anything. Oh, he won
No, but
the
this is where this award is flawed, right? We're saying the best player. We didn't say the best team
yeah.
award. We're saying the best player. The best player doesn't always have to win stuff. Like it's not your fault that it's not your fault that your team was unlucky. But at the
It's
same
hard.
time,
You would think if you're the best player in the world that year, you would have affected winning in some way or winning something. I think they
no, not
won the.
necessarily though. Think
No,
about it.
sorry, go
If you're the best player in the world, but Ole is your coach, you know what I'm saying? Like, what happens there? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's only so much one man can do. Look at Mohamed Salah. Okay, let's look at Mohamed Salah, right?
Okay.
Last season, there was so many injuries last season.
Yeah.
But he, like, all the other players, Sane was out of form. I mean, Mane was out of form.
Yeah.
Firmino was out of form. Thiago was still trying to get used to the Premier League and injuries, whatnot. Trent had a horrible season last year. The entire squad was basically just bang average. But Mo Salah was still what? I think he came second goal scorer or something. And he top goal scorer if club did not bench him for that one game. The one game against, I think it was they were playing, I think it was Burnley, a team that he could have scored a hat-trick in that game, but he got benched. So Mo Salah has been very consistent for the last 3 seasons. And now look at what he's doing. Look at he's pulling up trees now too.
Yeah,
that's a good shout.
He's going crazy right now.
I don't know why Modric is even on this list. Like, is it Modric from like 5 years ago? They're still looking at.
No, yeah, look at the World Cup Modric.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh, Pedri. I think Pedri's good, but once again, I think it's that same like Phil Foden thing where he's just too young. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's a great player, but he still has a lot to develop in his game. Like, and this is the stuff I'm talking about, right? So how do you have who else is on here that I could even pick out? Okay, Benucci's on there. I don't really know. Okay, Mason Mount. What did Mason Mount do last year to deserve to be on that list?
Don't you dare, Josh. You stop that right now.
Bro, forget what he won with Chelsea. If I was to say to you, when you look at Mason's season and you look at Paul Pogba's season last year, from December till the end of the season, and then you looked at his Euro performance, where he was bossing midfields, the German midfield, the Portuguese midfield, the Whatever midfield, he bossed it.
Who was beside him then?
How does he not deserve to be on that list?
Oh wait, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay, correct. Yeah, if you want to add Pogba, I have no issue. To be completely honest, this whole list, I'm not too concerned with it, if we're being honest. I don't care about the whole 30-man thing, like you were saying before. I don't know why it needs to be 30 people. At that point, you can add whoever you want. You can add your secretary in there, your doctor, your lawyer, whatever you want.
I'm surprised you didn't even add. Is it too early to crack that joke? I'm surprised you didn't even add Christian Eriksen.
Oh no.
That's, yeah, that's a little too early.
You're savage.
On that. That's a little too early on that. Go with the point that you were making about, obviously, guys, this is all for jokes here. It's all for banter. Obviously, we're happy that Christian Eriksen is doing well. Life is the most important thing to anyone. And it was not a joke in spite. It was just trying to talk about how ridiculous this list is in terms of some of the people that are on it. So
yeah, no, for sure. And like I was saying about it, like the whole 30-man list, it's like you're saying, it's kind of ridiculous. There's no point in having 30 people on there. I'll bring it down to 3, right?
Yeah.
3 people, I would not include Pogba. So it's indifferent to me whether he's added to the 31-man list or 30-man list. Pogba is not in my top 3. The top 3 has to be like this, Josh. I'm telling you right now, okay? Jorginho.
Okay.
N'Golo Kante. And possibly Lewandowski. That's what
possibly.
I would go
Lewandowski over Kante any day, bro. That should not even be possibly.
Cut it out. Cut it out. You're out of order.
Yo, put your footballing hat on, man. Take off your Chelsea hat and put your footballing hat on, bro.
Okay, so let me ask you this question, Josh. If you're starting a team right now, you have to pick between Lewandowski and N'Golo Kante. There's no one else on your team. Your team is completely blank. You have to pick one player to start it off with. Would you pick Lewandowski over Kante right now?
Yes, I would. Kante's been injured. I don't know what his form is right now.
His form is always tip top. He's a Champions League winner. Josh, you and I are having a falling out.
If anything, I
can continue.
Sorry?
You and I are having a falling out.
You know what? I'll probably even take. I'll take. Hey man, I know Chelsea fans are very emotional here, but I know you've got the blues. But let's face facts, man. Actually, if anything, I'll probably say Mohamed Salah first, number 1. Actually, Karim Benzema will be number 1. Okay. Mohamed Salah number 2, then Lewandowski. Yeah, I'll say that. So Lewandowski, I know people can say that he had a great season last year and all that. Sorry?
No Chelsea playing in the top 3?
Why didn't play Chelsea play? You guys were good as a team. But individually, there was not a single player. Maybe Jorginho. I guess Jorginho could go on that. Okay, you know what? I'll take off.
The audacity! You guess Jorginho.
You know what? Okay, I'll do Karim Benzema, Jorginho, just because, like he said, he won all the trophies last year, and then Mohamed Salah. I think Robert Lewandowski, I think he's a prolific goal scorer. The thing with Lewandowski is the people I'm picking right here, and the reason I said Mo Salah and Benzema is they do more than just scoring goals. That's why I'm picking them. I feel like they add more. Like Lewandowski scores goals, don't get me wrong, but I feel like Benzema and Mo Salah they give more to their team, even if they're not scoring. Right? Jorginho is kind of like, okay, cool. I'll slap him in there just because, the hype.
Yo, this guy. I can't believe this.
And I guess he scored 2 penalties yesterday, so.
How many does Sancho have? This many.
No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not comparing. No, I'm not saying. I'm not comparing players here. I'm just saying my top three, I didn't bring any United player to this list except for Pogba, which I think he deserves to be on that list. If we're talking about player form, I'm not saying you should win it. Maybe not even
Yeah.
top. Actually, I personally feel, and a lot of people will disagree with me. Like from a okay, I guess you can't really ability standpoint, and in the last 12 months, I think Pogba is up there as one of the best players in the world.
Oh my goodness.
Did you watch the Nations League?
Oh
Did you
my.
watch the Euros? Did you
I
watch
watched the
United?
Euros.
Did you watch
I
him for
watched the Euros.
United since December, from after his injury in December till we ended the league? He was unstoppable. Like Pogba on form, there's no other player that has that ability. There's no player on this planet Earth that has that ability.
Okay. A couple things. A couple things.
Yeah.
Being completely candid, I don't. I remember watching those United games at the end of beginning of this year, end of last year.
Yeah.
If he was that outstanding, I would have remembered it. You know what I mean? I would have
Wow.
had it to memory. What I do remember, as a fact, is how fantastic N'Golo Kante
Remember Ole Tax though. Remember
was.
Ole Tax. Remember Ole Tax is real. Put
You also,
Pogba in any of these, all these players you mentioned. Give him the coach that all these players have. Give him the coach that all these players have, and then we'll see.
remember
That would be
when?
more outstanding because now the whole performance would be. I think because the performances are so lackluster from the team, that is hard to see him pulling up trees.
I don't rate Pogba like you guys rate Pogba. I don't see. I see that he's a big, very very big player. Plays physically, but he has a great touch and he can play a really good ball. I get
Yeah.
that, but whatever it is that you guys are seeing from him, I think he's a little bit lazy sometimes. With his passes, he seems a little bit nonchalant when he's on the ball. A lot of the times, it doesn't make sense to me. When I see Mason Mount playing, he is at it every single moment. That's why I prefer. When I see Kante playing,
Okay, so
he's
you're going based on the British style of playing, which is run, run, run.
hey,
Like
hey,
Ole always
Josh,
says, intensity,
let me tell you
energy, and
something.
intensity. So you love Ole, man. You love Ole as your coach, bro.
Listen, don't discount my opinion by calling.
Should we ship McTominay to you, man?
Honestly, Tommy is a hard worker. Send it my way.
Should we push McTominay? Yo, I'll have him delivered to you, man.
Honestly,
Priority
I know
shipping.
we're probably going to go back and forth with this, but in my mind, there's no comparison between Kante or Pogba or Kante, and Kante is by far the best player at his position, bar none. Bar none. If you really watch him
Yeah,
play,
I'll agree with that on his position. Yeah, but Pogba doesn't even play that position.
but like you guys, that's my issue with this with the United fans. Sometimes I love you, Josh, but this is my
Well,
issue.
but Eze, to be honest, man, United fans don't like Pogba. They think he's shit.
Some
So
maybe it's the media I'm consuming. Some United fans think Pogba should be the coach, be the general manager, and a player.
it's split, right? It's split. It's split.
Yeah.
It's well, everything United is split. You're either Ole in, Ole out. You're either Bruno is the
He's
Eric
gone.
Cantona, or you
Yeah.
think Bruno is washed.
Yeah.
Pogba is either, like we say, I don't think Pogba is like heaven sent, but I think in today's football, he's one of the best players out there. And he's shown time and time again in a good system, in a good team, he's by far the best player on the pitch. Like, he's by far the best player on the pitch. Like, look at every game, every big game that he's played.
Yeah.
In terms of, you look at the Germany, you had your Tony Kroos's and Gundogan's looking lost with Pogba in the midfield. He played the Belgian midfield with KDB. He made KDB look like an amateur soccer player.
Pogba
in the semis.
That's why he looks so good.
But Kante was not even playing in the Nations League though.
I didn't watch Nations League at all. I didn't.
Exactly. I'm saying, but I'm not discrediting Kante. I'm not discrediting Kante, but as a baller, as a footballer, bro. It's like saying Pirlo versus Gattuso. You can't be comparing the two. It's not fair because Pirlo is a playmaker. He's silky on the ball, like how Pogba is. Gattuso was great at what Gattuso was probably the best at his position at the time. His job was just to high energy, high intensity, clear balls. But when it came to actually footballing skills, like passing range, vision, tricks, not even comparable. But it's not fair. You can't compare both of them because they're just two different worlds.
let
That's why
me
I
say
feel like you're
this.
trying to compare Conte with Pogba, which is not. You can't even do it.
No, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying completely.
Pogba will
Right?
put him in splits, man. He'll be doing. He'll be doing.
This guy.
Conte would break his pelvis, man. Looking
Let me
like
tell you.
Elvis out there.
Let me just say this. Let me just say this. Look at all of Chelsea's managers across
Yeah.
and Kante has been there, right? You want to talk about the Ole tax, whatever tax. We had so many. We had Andre Villas-Boas. We had all these crazy managers. It's insane. And well, Kante wasn't there at the time, but no matter what manager that's been there, Kante has been performing and he's been winning. He played with Ranieri in Leicester, won. Came to Chelsea the next year with Conte, won. Now with Tuchel, won. He also won with Sarri, the Europa League, won. Went to the French team, won the World Cup. Like that's
Okay. Another thing was, did Conte ever get his position sacrificed? The coach said, "Okay, Conte, go play attacking midfield."
Josh, the excuses, man. So many excuses.
Okay, you know what? I'll let the excuses lie. I'll let the excuses lie, just because at the end of the day, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Like, yeah, he's done well with, but so has Pogba though. He's done like, look what he did with Juve. Look at what he did he still does for the French team. Look at what he does for United, even though, like, look at his stats for United, even though he's had crappy managers since he's been here. He had a washed up Ole that Chelsea just, sent down the river from London to us, because Ole was the guy who, Mourinho finished 17th with you guys. He was washed up. And then we got him, still won the Europa League and the League Cup. And then Ole came in. He was our top goal scorer and top assist for that year. And then he went back to playing defensive mid. You know what I mean? So, and then he's had injuries too. But I'm not saying that Pogba's been perfect. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's been perfect. But I just feel like Conte could be on that list, but I don't see why Mason Mount should be on that list. Who the hell is this guy? The Danish guy. I guess he scored a couple of goals in the Euros.
Oh, I don't know that
Danish. But yeah, no, obviously, this is all banter, man. This is just all for joke. But I think my top three, my top three would definitely be Karim Benzema. I'll put Jorginho in there to appease the Chelsea fans, and then I'll put wait, not even Verratti's on this list. Verratti's not on this list from PSG. Wow.
I'm not watching a lot of French league. I can't speak.
Yeah, Verratti's nice, man. Over for Italy, bro. He was pulling strings. You see, this is what we're talking about here. Like, Verratti did more for Italy than Jorginho did. But because Jorginho was in teams that won stuff more than Verratti did, he's not on that list.
I want to point out, for the record, for the people listening, the amount of backhanded comments that Josh has made towards these Chelsea players. It's ridiculous. It's hurtful.
Hey.
For one, it's hurtful. And it's ridiculous.
Oh my goodness. Yo, I'm being real, man. You see, like I said, I'm not saying that Chelsea doesn't have good players. I'm just saying, based on the players that we're seeing here on this list, I just think another player that I said that I should not be, that I felt like wasn't on this list, that actually I'll say Verratti and Pogba are the two players that are missing from this list that I think should be on this list.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
Yeah.
I don't mind either player, to be honest. I don't mind either player.
Sorry?
Okay. That's fair enough. I don't mind. I didn't watch too much of Verratti outside of the Euros.
Yeah.
And I know, Pogba plays well. He's a good player still. But yeah, I think we're set on our top threes though for Ballon d'Or.
Yeah. We'll see though. Like, who do you think is going to win it? Because everyone's saying Messi now. I'm like, oh, not Messi and Ronaldo again.
Really? You think so?
That what? No, I'm hearing rumors that Messi might win it. And people are saying Ronaldo because of all the international records he's been breaking against Qatar and Iran.
But it's just for the one season though. Why shouldn't it matter these?
It's a calendar year, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but still, like the international records are for total goals, right? Over like it's longer than one season. These like, the records that he's breaking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it shouldn't, in my mind, it shouldn't count towards the Ballon d'Or. I think it should be Jorginho. I think that's what makes the most sense. You know?
Yeah, I won't argue that.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, that's what I guess that's where we stand on that one.
Yeah, I won't argue that. I won't argue that. But that's the same thing as like how Ronaldo won EPL player of the month. I'm like, for what? For scoring 2 goals against Newcastle? It's like what?
Oh, did he not score more than that? I thought he scored more. No?
What else did he score? How many goals does he have in the EPL?
I think he has more than 2 for sure.
Does he?
Am I crazy? Is it just the hype?
He's got 2 in the champ. I think he's got 4 goals all season.
Okay, it might have been the Champions League. Okay, yeah.
He's got 2 in the Champions League.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's the stuff that just makes me like just get very upset with the people who make these decisions. It's like a popularity contest.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? If Mohamed Salah had the same hair gel,
I know.
The same even the fitness coach, Salah's looking in better shape. But you know what I'm saying? Like maybe if his name wasn't Mohamed Salah, maybe who knows?
I know. If his name was John Townsend, it might be a little bit.
Yeah. Or Pedro Rodriguez.
Rodriguez, yeah. Yeah. Or just one names like Figo. If there was Figo, just like one
yeah,
name.
Figo, yeah. It's like the clutch names.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, honestly, definitely been obviously I don't want to keep you too long. We've been here an hour and 20 minutes, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's always a great chat with you, Eze. But just before we leave, what's your prediction for the Liverpool United game? Even though I know you're not you're not a fan of neither teams, but either teams.
I always predict this now. Both teams will lose 5-0. But
both teams? Come on, man.
I'm just kidding. I think is this at Old Trafford or is this in
yeah, it's at Old Trafford, yeah.
Okay. I'll go for a 1-1. Liverpool score second. United score first, Liverpool equalize 1-1.
So wait, okay, so 1-1 you're thinking. Okay.
Yeah, 1-1. Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah, I think, why? What is your prediction? I'm biased.
You know what? Honestly, I honestly don't even know at this rate. Like, we're so unpredictable, right? Like we said, we came down from 2 goals down, and all of a sudden we changed it because we have the quality, right? We have the quality in the players that if they decide that they want to win that game, I feel like they can give Liverpool a tough time. But I think if United scores first, then I think we draw the game. If Liverpool scores first, it's game over. Then I'm thinking, then whatever that score is that's how I'm thinking, because I feel like we can't. There's certain teams that yes, we can do the comebacks against, but Liverpool is not one of those teams to do a comeback. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I feel like United, if we score first, will hold on as long as possible to that lead, and Liverpool eventually score. And then because Liverpool, we've always had, apart from that Mourinho defeat, we've tied Liverpool a lot. Like we keep drawing those games, and then we beat them in the FA Cup last year or so with the Bruno free kick in the last minute. But yeah.
United, the guys normally perform well against the top teams. You guys are beating us for a long time. You've been beating City the last couple times you've seen them. So yeah, normally it's weird. Ole, he figured out a way to perform well against bigger managers. So.
But you know what it is with City? Like even Chelsea, right? Tuchel's game, Tuchel's first game against United. Well, first and only game so far against United. You could tell City as well, right? Because they're very organized. Like Liverpool is different. Liverpool is very high press, gung-ho, just go at it. You know what I mean? Just tire the hell out of you, kind of thing. Just breathe down your neck. But Chelsea and City are more organized, like to hold the ball, play the ball around. You know what I mean? And I found like when City, and because of how disorganized we are as a team, like we don't even know who is pressing. We don't know who is sitting back. We don't know who is the midfielder. We don't know who the striker is. well, just kind of all over the place and just kind of figure it out situation. I think that really disrupts City's game. That really disrupts Chelsea's game because the two games that I've watched, United versus Chelsea and the United City games, I've just seen City look like very destabilized. I just feel like when like you're so organized and then you meet someone who is just like road runners. You're just like, okay, what's going on? I need to like calm down so I can play my football. You know what I mean? But it's like they're just and I think and then when you had the likes of Daniel James back then that could hit you on the counter with the speed, like it's very tough for those kind of teams. But who knows? Who knows? I think this season might be different. Like we said, right? The last two seasons, first season was COVID, the return, and then last season was just every other team was just not having a good season. So I think this is the first season that is fair. Everyone is starting on an even playing field. So it'll be different now. Yeah.
It'll be a good game.
Yeah. But anyways, guys, it's definitely been fun. I really appreciate those of you that tuned in. Shout out Mr. Flawless. Those of you watching, definitely check out Sarcasm City. He's I think tonight he's definitely doing the NBA show tonight. So definitely tune into that. Other than that, man, I really appreciate you guys for tuning in. I've seen some of you have actually stayed online for an hour and a half. So I appreciate it, man. It means it's definitely been a good conversation. And Eze, always amazing when you come on, man. Always amazing. And definitely going to be a big week for us. And definitely go from there. Till next time, guys, please like, share, and subscribe. Take care.
Bye, guys.